if you open up a web browser, and if I were to go into creditcards.com, and what you can do right there in the middle of the frame, you'll see that the center button is 0% APR. Now, when I click on that, and this is just one resource that sort of compiles a lot of different current offers that are out there on the market. And they do this because they'll usually get a small little piece of commissions for anybody that applies for, and usually it's upon approval of one of these credit cards. So they might make $15 or $20 for every applicant that comes through their website. Okay, so there's an incentive for them for you to apply using this. And therefore, they're going to try and aggregate as many of these resources together as possible because they want an opportunity to capture as many applicants as they can. So if I go in here and I'm looking at some of the offers that are here, there's a Wells Fargo credit card right now with a $200 cash reward that's offered. It's a 0% APR for the first 15 months. It does require let me just see if it doesn't point out to me right away what the balance transfer fees are because got it, 3%. So let's do some quick math, okay? You're at 16% interest right now on your credit card based on $16,000 worth of debt, which is north of $2,500 a year in interest.
Wow.
You realize that that's almost 2% of all of the money you make, and that's pre-tax revenue. So your gross revenue is 140. Then you pay taxes. So let's just hypothetically say that you're left with $90,000. If you're committing $2,500 of the 90 that's there, you're approaching 3% of every dollar you take home going straight down the tubes. You may as well light it on fire. Now, if you were to take $16,000 and transfer it and pay a 3% balance transfer fee, it would cost you $480, which means that you're going to end up saving almost $2,100 or $2,070 by simply going after a 0% account and paying the balance transfer fee. You following that math?
Yeah, I'm following the math. Yep. My question is though, when they say don't apply for more than one because it dings your credit. Is that something?
What are your credit scores now?
About 780.
You don't have to worry about that. Usually inquiries are only going to potentially harm your credit somewhere between 2 up to maybe 25 points maximum. Even a worst case scenario, your credit scores could fall by say 25 points and you would still have phenomenal credit. The best credit offers are provided to people who generally have a 740 or up. I teach people how to get to and maintain a 760 and higher because it provides a 20-point buffer between the best offers that are available and the score I generally recommend people target.
Okay.
Following me?
I'm sitting there better than I thought I was then. Okay.
780 gives you a lot of leeway to absorb things like credit inquiries. This is why we build credit to a point where we can have a 780 is so that we can go out there and save $2,000 by getting the right tool.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that affords you, and this is just one of the very top, if you go to that website, this is one of the very top offers that are there.
Okay.
Now, after 15 months, this interest rate becomes predatory, in my opinion, which is anywhere between 20 to 25%, according to the website. So you want to make sure that you're putting yourself on a plan where that $16,000 is gone within the 15 months. And there is no great excuse. I mean, I would have to see exactly why somebody's budget is so crippling that they don't have the excess capital on $140,000 per year revenues as an individual that they couldn't afford to pay off $16K entirely within that 15-month period. In fact, it should happen much, much sooner than that. So you shouldn't have to worry about that 0% expiring and having a residual balance there that's going to end up being penalized with the interest costs.
I played with the math, and after looking at everything and putting it on paper, I show even the car, I should have everything paid off by August, is what it looked like.
Perfect. Now, if you do that, even at a 16% interest rate, bear in mind that 16% is the annual percentage rate. So that's if you had a $16,000 balance over the course of an entire year and you were paying 16% interest on it, that's where you would end up costing yourself $2,500 in interest. If you pay off through an accelerated period, all of your debt within the next, say, 7 months, of course, it's not going to end up costing you $2,500 in interest if you just left it where it is.
Okay.
Personally, I despise interest so much that, of course, I'm going to take the 5 or 10 minutes to fill out an application to potentially save hundreds of dollars that I otherwise would just throw towards 100%. The bank.
Yeah.
Yeah. In my opinion, it's going to be worth the time you commit.
Well, what do you think about, so the lines of credit? What was happening though, I was getting overwhelmed with all the credit cards that, I had. They were kind of everywhere. It was a mess. I'm not going to lie. I was like, I think I was in I don't know. I think I was just kind of going through the motions of every day, going through the divorce. And I was like, I don't want to look at that because, it was just, it was overwhelming. Right. So I know you said go there and apply, but if I have these other credit cards, how would you tackle that? Wouldn't that be the way to go, is to look at the ones that I already have that are offering that now rather than...
You can. I mean, I would be surprised if any of them are going to propose an offer as generous as 15 months on a pre-existing relationship. Usually that's some form of a promotional introductory offer in order to capture business up front. They might come in and say, hey, we'll extend you the 0% over the next 6 months, 10 months, maybe 12 months. 15% is already, or 15 months is already considered fairly generous. But I'm just giving an example, and some will even do longer. You might even find an 18 or 24 month 0%. I'm not worried about having credit card account. I have 0 accounts at 0% because I don't utilize credit cards with the intention of maintaining balances that revolve from 1 month to the next. Every credit card account gets paid to 0 every single month without exception. There are no good excuses, in my opinion, to try to play the credit card hacking games that you'll see some people talking about. I am far too conservative of an individual in what I teach and how I practice with my money to ever utilize some of those techniques that people use. So for me, I'm not so concerned about the 0% beyond once your debt is paid in full, because what I would recommend for you is that you pay everything in full every month from that point forward.
Oh yeah, that's my goal. Absolutely, that's my goal.
Good.